Okay, we're ready. We're good? Okay. Call to order the special meeting of August 31st. Call roll.
Mr. DeVasquez?
Here.
Mr. Dussinger?
Here.
Mr. Evans?
Here.
Mr. Fender?
Here.
Mr. Camus?
Here.
Mr. Majer?
Here.
Mr. Kaczynski?
Here.
Mr. Richards? Mr. Usavich?
Here. Okay, we'll have a moment of silence followed by a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're here to vote on the fall sports and extracurricular activity. Approve is a yes vote, disapprove is a no vote. I need a motion.
Before a motion, can I ask a question? And maybe it's just me. We had the vote on Thursday, and I know you weren't here. However, on Thursday was the exact same thing, and it ended up a 4-4 vote. Why are we re-voting again on the same exact? Is it because it was tied? Is we're doing the same thing? I mean, because as I understand it, our Thursday vote meant that it was tied, which meant it stayed the way it was, which means sports went on. So I don't. Why do we have to re-vote on the exact same thing today that we did on Thursday?
You ask me? I just
Yeah,
asked Lars.
I don't, Lars, if you know,
that
sir,
question
attorney,
before we
I don't
start.
know.
So you don't have to revote? As you know, I'm stepping in, but my understanding that you're revoting to see.
I can't hear you, Lars.
It's my understanding that you're revoting to see if there's a different outcome. An opportunity for a different outcome because of the fact that you're down to, well, not technically down, but you only have 8 members, so it's a tie vote to see if anyone has changed their opinion. It's an untied vote.
I agree with Brian. I think there's another dynamic that came into this over the weekend, and I think we should talk about it. Mr. Majer, would you?
Where do you live? Pardon me?
There's another dynamic that came into this thing.
Yeah, but let's,
If you may, before we get into it.
let's settle this first.
Yeah, we'll
Does
skip
everybody agree not to have another vote?
No. Because we have another.
Yeah, I
vote.
don't think we should
Does
have another
everyone
one.
agree not to have another vote, to let the vote stand where it is?
Okay.
Yeah.
Call the roll on that. All right, well, no, show of hands, everybody agree?
I agree with it.
Right, I,
Okay,
okay.
unanimous, so
So
we
the
don't
vote,
have
the
to have a
vote stands as
As-
it was on
right.
Thursday.
The
We're
vote
gonna look like
stands.
Texas. We'll look like
Now,
Texas.
Mr. Fender, what do you have?
Over the weekend, we,
But Joe, one second.
As everyone knows, it's a virtual meeting, so a statement's been read at most of these board meetings, and I'll just condense it down. Due to the fact that we are meeting virtually and not everyone can attend in person, if you have comments, please submit them through the website, to email them to the district, and the district will respond to comments for anything that is occurring at today's special meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
okay?
Mr.
Over the weekend, I had the opportunity to talk to a laboratory here in Kingston and a doctor who would offer tests to all of our athletes and band to make sure we could screen for COVID. I think this is an excellent idea. My recommendation is we do this and then we make decisions based on driving with a roadmap rather than speculation. So this will be at no cost. Am I right, Mr. Majer? Out of the pocket for us
Well,
parents.
I can't say it would be no cost because I think they asked if people that have insurance would use their insurance
Right.
to pay for the test. Those that didn't, we would, pay for it.
Right. Well, my remark was out of the pocket cost.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So if a parents have insurance, they would use their insurance. The people that don't have insurance, the school district would pay. How much does he want for a test, Mr. Majer? You talked to him about that.
Well, he said anywhere between $5 and $10. And we were talking about maybe could come to the high school and do them, or that hasn't been finalized. But if the board would agree to it, then I think we need to have Mr. Tosh go down there and talk to them and get the whole setup.
That being said, we're probably the only school in Pennsylvania that's able to test their athletes. And I think this is a safety thing. I think that what we're doing is what we're supposed to be doing, keeping our kids safe.
Anyone have any comments or ideas about that? Or
I have two. What style test would be administered?
A COVID test, a swab test.
So up the nasal passage?
Rick, you're going to have to, I can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Up the nasal passage?
Yes.
Second thing is, do we have to, malady-wise, does this have to go out to bid or co-stars?
Well, so currently the only item on the agenda that we've advertised for is the resolution regarding whether or not to move forward with sports. So, yeah, technically, this is something that your administration would have to vet, bring through the process, and then bring up to the board to vote on. So that's, you got to go through that process step now. This is not something that you guys would decide and vote on at this time. It's something that your administration would start doing the legwork on and figure out the details and present to you to make a decision. But so at this time, that's not something that you can make a decision on, as it's not part of what you advertised for in today's meeting.
okay,
Okay, then it becomes informational.
Yeah, from informational standpoint, so put the information out there, if Mr. Tosh now and his staff then digs into it and makes a recommendation back to you at a later date for you guys to act upon, that's something you can do. But for purposes of today, it's just we're getting the information to the board so that they know that something down the line may come further.
All right, Lars, I have one question. Pardon me?
Sorry, there was some loud.
Yeah, I have one question. Well, the Supreme Court looks at sports as a privilege, not a right. So just like a physical, could we make this part of the physical process for health to participate in athletics in the band?
To be honest with you, I'd have to look at that. I don't have that answer right off the tip of my finger. Yeah.
Okay.
We can look at that and get back to you on that response. So.
Okay, it's well worth researching.
Is everybody okay with we just look into it, research it, and
Absolutely.
and see where it goes from there? And if we'll have to have another meeting, we'll have another. But
Right.
things go on as they are.
Yes.
Mr. Martin, on Thursday, we also discussed.
Yeah, that kid's a major instructionist, you know?
Sorry,
We
Waivers
discussed waivers. Did you look into that anywhere?
We should have given him that job.
waivers for.
for the student to sign
Oh.
a waiver.
Well, no, I didn't. From what I was told by Mr. Goldberg, that waivers, usually don't work. That if they sign a waiver, there's always a way around it, and so I really didn't look into it any farther. But if anybody wants to talk to him about it, just give him a call. All right, so then we're okay with that.
Now, I have one more comment, Mr. Majer. With winter sports coming and fall sports, we're able to differentiate between the flu and COVID. I don't know who's doing that. We're able to differentiate between the flu and COVID. That way we don't take flu kids and put them, somewhere else where we treat them like they have COVID.
Okay.
And I guess for Mr. Gill, we have we do have our COVID reaction where we do have defined responses to a positive test and stuff and that kind of
Correct.
stuff.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, I guess we can adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Meeting
Do we
adjourned.
vote on anything?
No,
No.